What's happening, HC Nation? Thanks very much for joining us on this Friday. This is where we do Stump the Creator. This is where you try to stump me at my own game. That means you give me questions on cards and the rules themselves, trying to stump me and saying, okay, how does this actually work? And then I try to process it and give you an answer right away. If I don't, I give you a prize. If I don't, if it's a really good question and maybe I haven't thought of it before, or maybe I was coming close to being stumped, yes, that would be what we call an honorable mention, and it's usually where I send you a rare card or something else in the mail. So please send in your questions. We want to hear what they are. Now, another part of the rules is I cannot actually look at anything beforehand, so I don't know what these questions are. So I'm coming fairly blind to this, and you get a chance to try to stump me. So this is another thing. When you send me an email for Stump the Creator, put it in the tagline, Stump the Creator. That way, I don't have to wonder if I'm actually going to start reading it and actually spoil the surprise for me. So put it in the front. And if you want a certain card, it's also really good to say like Stump the Creator, Joan of Arc. Now, this is a great way of giving me a heads up on what cards I need to bring up, because if not, I just have to pause this video, find those cards, and bring them up. It just takes a little bit of time, so it would save me a little time. It might save a pausing in the video, but as of right now, we're going into Gabe, who did not put it that way because I never really asked before. I'm asking now. So if you could put him in the subject line after Stump the Creator dash whichever card you want to talk about. So, okay, now let's go into Gabe's question. So, opening up his email, it says, part 1. Okay, if I play an event against my opponent, okay, so let's just say I'm the opponent. If you play an event against me, and they have Galileo Galilei in play, and I interrupt with an assassin to kill him, can I still play that event since I interrupted Galileo? Okay, so great question. I already know the answer, but I want to bring this up because I want you to be able to see what the card says. So let me pause this video. And there's actually, I think, 3 parts to this. So I'm going to go through and grab all the cards and bring them up. So give me 1 second. Okay, so in this question, in all 3 parts, it gives me like categories of cards. So it doesn't actually give me cards. So if I'm not sure which card it is, I will throw up a card from the same category and we'll see where we go from there. So again, back to the question. If I play an event against my opponent, let's say an event that I brought up was Mount Vesuvius. So I play Mount Vesuvius. It's going to destroy everything. Well, in play, I have Galileo Galilei, which says your civilization is safe from the effects of any opponent's event cards played against you for the next 2 rounds. Now, if he played it in the last 2 rounds, it applies. If he played it before, this is an instant card. Remember this I right here means instant. It means you have to use the abilities immediately, and after 2 rounds, it's no longer into play. So, if the event is found within those 2 times, Galileo does stop that from happening. But here's the question. If I use an assassin, so he didn't give me an assassin, I just grabbed one. Booth sneaks into your opponent's civilization and assassinates 1 leader. Afterwards, he too must be discarded. Okay, so in the line of play, Galileo Galilei is still in play right now. So let's go to him. Basically says no civilization is not affected by an event card. Okay, so someone plays the event card, but Galileo Galilei's in play. That is not interrupting this card. It's a response to this card. So basically what happened is you did the wrong line of flow. You basically should have assassinated Galileo Galilei first, because what's happening is you play Mount Vesuvius. Galileo Galilei is already in play. So it stops that from happening. There's no interrupt at that point. That interrupt that says interrupt right there is not an interrupt. it's already in play. The abilities are already in play. So that event card cannot do anything. Now, if you play the assassin after you attack, or after you hit him with that, what are you interrupting? You're not interrupting Galileo Galilei's because his is already in play. You're interrupting, the only thing you could actually interrupt is the card that's being played. So if you, just as some advice, if you're going to play, you want to make sure he doesn't have Galileo Galilei. You want to be able to play your assassin before that point, before you play your card. Now, in this, it says, and they have Galileo in play. That's when he has it in play. So now, I guess we go into part 2. If my opponent plays Galileo Galilei, and I interrupt with an event that would kill him, am I able to do that? Now, let's see. Before Galileo's abilities come into play, see, no, sorry. Yeah, before Galileo's abilities come into play, I could play an event that kills him. I could play an assassin that kills him. His abilities do not come into play until after the interrupt that you play right away is made into play. So again, the line of how it played. Someone plays a card, you interrupt it. If a card's abilities are already in play, you can't interrupt it. It's already in play. It'd be interrupting it before it goes into play. So now Galileo is coming down. It's about to be placed on the deck, or on the playmat. You're playing something to interrupt and to kill off Galileo. It means his abilities never happened. He didn't exist. Well, he did exist. His ability just never happened. So yes, you could actually stop him, stop your opponent from playing Galileo Galilei on let's see, on a civilization. Say if you don't want his abilities to come into effect, because again, it's 2 turns of you can't stop him from playing this, unless you assassinated him. But you can't do it with an event card. You can play an event card as an interrupt before his abilities come into play. Okay, Gabe, yeah, I got part 3. Part 3 says, can I interrupt Galileo Galilei even if he has been in play? The Lost Colony of Roanoke. So this is the one he wants to play. So I brought this one up. Since I'm interrupting with it. Okay, interrupt. Select one opponent's land. All that land's cards are discarded, and that player loses 100 morale or for every card discarded. Okay, so again, can I interrupt Galileo Galilei even if he's in play? No, if he's in play, the abilities already apply. The abilities apply going forward. If you interrupt, it's basically you're interrupting an ability before it goes into effect. Interrupt could also be you're affecting something else, much like if you're playing on someone else's turn, you're playing an assassin. You're going to be able to play assassin and stop an ability. But if an ability is already in play, that's it. So I might be wrong. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Put it in the comments below. But you can't exactly interrupt something that's already happening. Well, I guess you can. You're interrupting in the middle of something. But the way this has all been set up, and actually what I should be doing is I should be grabbing this, the official rules, and that's actually an old copy of the official rules. Give me a second. I'm going to bring up the official rules, and we're going to check out what the rules say on interrupts. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this video. Okay, here we go. So I brought up the rules. So in here it says, interrupt card may be played at any time, regardless of whether whose turn it is, or whether a card is currently being used to mount an attack. Now, yes, I could actually see, Gabe, where you're saying, wait a second. The card is already being used, but it's already being used to mount an attack. And a defensive is a little bit different. The symbols will tell you if it's an interrupt ability must be used immediately, or it can be held on to, so on and so forth. So this is not exactly a stump. It is actually a really good question. I really do appreciate this. Actually, I like this question more than I've liked most questions in the past. So Gabe, I'm going to send you something special as an honorable mention. Let me write that down so I do not forget. But yeah, so this is actually a really good question. that needed to be said. So, because I know where Gabe's coming from. He's saying if something's already in play, then I should be able to interrupt the abilities. But if something's already in play, just because it has to interrupt, as I've always said, with interrupts, it's like a surprise attack. It basically means you're doing something as a surprise, not in the sense that you're interrupting, such as you do, like I'm interrupting a conversation. You're getting right in the middle of the conversation. Because the conversation, if I play an interrupt as an interrupt is supposed to be played, it would be stopping the conversation before it even starts. You're interrupting it before it begins. Cards that are in play as a defensive, it would make no sense. It would be, you can't, I don't want to destroy my game by saying, oh yeah, anything that has interrupt can bypass whatever rules are already applied. But that's a rule that's already applied. No event card, even if it has an interrupt in it, because the interpretation of what an event card interrupt is means you can jump in there at any point and stop a card from happening. So as it says, even if the card is being used to mount an attack. So it's not the fact that it's in play completely, it's being played, and you're putting this to stop it from happening from the very beginning. So that's what it means. So if there's any questions, please put them in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. And Gabe, I will get you an honorable mention. I've got to send you a package anyways. So there you go. I will put something extra in that package. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We will talk to you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Where's that pause button? Stop. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.